everyone, and welcome to the video. This is Professor Amanda, and class has officially begun. So, Kevkillerke and I recently competed in the same tournament, and I jokingly told him whoever did better was going to be the one that got shoutcasted, and unfortunately, but obviously for me, Kevin was one of the winners of the tournament, so I invited him back to the channel so he can give us a little bit of his wisdom. Hi Kevin, how are you doing?
Hello, very well. Thanks for having me on the channel again.
Yeah. So let's walk through your team here. Why did you choose these 6 Pokemon for the Marsh Cup?
We have had a lot of practice tournaments and there was some data usage. And even though Swampert was, I think at the time, ranked 40, he was doing really well in gold usage and was also very popular. So I started from Swampert, Sableye, and Ferrothorn core, and then I kind of walked through the weaknesses of those. I actually wanted to bring Venusaur instead of Ferrothorn, so I was debating on how to swap the two, but there were certain Pokemon that Venusaur was better against, and then some certain Pokemon where Ferrothorn was better against. And then when my team was finished, I had Ferrothorn, Crustle, Sableye, Marowak, and Swampert, and I still felt the need to add a grass Pokemon. So I was weak to water types and opposing grass types. So I figured Venusaur was perfect for that because it deals with water types, and with its Sludge Bomb, it can also deal with opposing grasses.
Yeah, that's nice. What about your Marowak? Is it running Shadow Ball or Shadow Bone?
The Marowak is running Shadow Bone. I made a new one for the tournament. At the moment with Shadow Ball, Marowak can have some bait-dependent matchups, and that's kind of fixed with Shadow Bone. You deal less damage, but it also costs less energy, so you're less dependent on bait than with Shadow Ball.
Yeah, that's a good point. I played a couple people who had Shadow Ball, and while it's worrying because it's more of a nuke, it's a lot easier to tell if they're baiting or if they're going straight for the big one.
Yeah, I think in the future with a lot of Marowak Cups, Shadow Ball can come as a surprise, but I expect most Marowaks to run Shadow Bone in the future.
I think so as well. So let's jump into the tournament. Yeah. This was your first opponent, Elaine. What were you thinking when you saw this team composition? Shiftry is kind of a beast in this cup.
Yeah, my team is actually really weak to Shadow Shiftry, a bit less so to a regular Shiftry, but worrying nonetheless, because my Ferrothorn, as many other Ferrothorns, carries Thunder and not Flash Cannon. It cannot beat the Shiftry anymore. On even shields at least. So that's something to worry about. I'm not very worried about Mantine and Swampert because I feel pretty safe with my grasses. And then the Drifblim is interesting. It's supposed to be a grass counter, but Venusaur actually beats it in the one shield because Frenzy Plant hits just so hard.
Ah, interesting.
Against Elaine, I was really tempted to run double grass. And I was willing to sacrifice my Venusaur as a safe swap, because it can beat everything, either in the 0 shields or in the 1 shields. So it beats Mantine in the 1 shield barely, and it can do some serious damage to the Drifblim in the 0 shield as well. And then I would lead my Crustle, because Crustle deals with kind of everything on his team, except for Mantine kinda, and the Mirror, and then obviously Swampert is a hard counter. And Mantine and Swampert, I can take those with my grasses. Even though Venusaur loses, I expect the Mantine to swap out. So my team would be Crustle leads and then Ferrothorn and Venusaur in the back.
Alright, let's see how that plays out.
So here it's the Mantine lead. Even though Crustle wins the 2 shields, I don't want to stay in this matchup because I need my Crustle for other things. So I'm just gonna tank a Bubble Beam and then I'm gonna swap out. So I don't have any debuff on me.
And then the Mantine is out of energy as well.
Yeah, and now here comes the Galvantula, and if you play the matchup right, you can win the 1 shield.
Yeah, Audrey told me this and I didn't believe it, so we had to test it a couple times, but it's true because the Venusaur hits the 3rd Frenzy Plant.
Yeah, so as long as you don't give the opponent too many fast moves, it's all good. And people always shield the first Frenzy Plant whatever, so you can wait for the lunge and still get a shield. And then I do my first shields, and he already shielded. So I'm gonna either force him to go down shields, and now I'm up 2 shields. I didn't want to win the 1 shield because I felt really comfortable taking the Galvantula down with Crustle.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then here you're, going to switch to the Ferrothorn.
Yeah. And then it's basically over for the opponents here.
Yeah, I think so too. You still have 2 shields, and even if they land the Ice Beam twice, it's pretty much over for.
Yeah, and Ice Beam is also resisted, so I'm.
Is it resisted? I thought it was neutral.
I mean, it's neutralized. Yeah, resisted by the steel.
And he's just hoping to bubble beam you down, but it's not really that smart because you can just sacrifice your Crustle and come back in with a fully loaded Ferrothorn.
And Power Whip hits just so hard, I don't care about any debuff.
Yeah, even a double debuff to Power Whip takes out that Swampert. So what is your plan for Game 2? Just second verse, same as the first?
So I didn't see his Shift Tree, which I was kind of happy about.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm just going to keep the same trio, but I might use Venusaur as a sacrificial lead. But I'm not sure what I did. That's basically lead Venusaur and let it go down, or take shields and then swap out.
So in this matchup, I think, the Mantine, it's possible to win, but they have to land, or you have to shield a bait.
Mantine usually wins, indeed. But I'm really comfortable people with Mantine throwing Bubble Beam first. So, and even if it's an Ice Beam, I barely survive, and I can swap out or something. I took the shield, so for me, Venusaur did its job. And yeah, here's the Ice Beam, but I don't really care because I'm up a shields.
Mm-hmm. Then the Crustle's just gonna smack down it.
Yeah.
You're already preparing for the swap, it looks.
Yeah, because here, the Shift Tree, even though Ferrothorn doesn't beat it at all, he's still gonna swap out because he knows I have Crustle and he has Galvantula. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna
that's smart on his part. Also, Galvantula has a winning matchup against Ferrothorn.
Yeah. So I just wanted to get rid of my Ferrothorn and keep my Crustle for the Shift Tree, because it's more reliable, and Ferrothorn does a better job against Galvantula and the Zero Shields.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're doing a really good job of recognizing which Pokemon in this set is going to do the best and saving all your shields for it. You did it both times, it looked like.
Yeah. And Exeter from Crustle completely deletes a Shift Tree, so I didn't even have to build up for 2 Executors. But yeah, I don't know. Just to be sure,
Down goes the Shift Tree. Alright, well we normally, the way we do it is if you win the first 2, we move on to the second one for time's sake. So since this is a 7-round tournament, we're gonna go on to your next opponent, Pokemaster. So we look at this team, we have a Shadow Victory Bell. What is this? Great League GBL?
I did do some testings against Shadow Victory Bell, but it was not flexible enough in a Silph Cup. Because people know what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah.
There's no surprise factor at all. So against Pokemaster's team, I immediately saw why he brought the Victory Bell. It's because his team is super weak to Swampert. He has the Mirror and Victory Bell, but that's about it. And then also, Crustle is really strong against his team, losing to also Swampert and Victory Bell. And then there's the Mirror. And good thing for me, both my grasses beat Swampert and Victory Bell. So if I want to run Crustle or Swampert, I'm gonna bring my grasses just to protect them.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's really interesting that it's his only grass, because as far as grasses go in the tournament, I think it's one of the weakest. So even the other grasses can pretty much take it out.
Yeah, it's one of the weaker grass types, but it's also the most punishing one if you lose a lead. So if my opponent wins a lead and I have to swap, and I don't have a good backup plan, and I swap to Swampert, for instance, Swampert won't even be able to throw a move.
Yeah.
While if I would swap in a Venusaur against the Swampert and I want to farm energy, the Swampert can potentially Earthquake me, and then my Venusaur loses. It is a punishing Pokemon, but also not very flexible. So team comp-wise, I would bring either Swampert or Crustle as a lead, and then my 2 grasses as bodyguards, where I would sacrifice my Venusaur first to lure out Dialga or Marowak, and then my Ferrothorn in the back can sweep. Or I would lead a grass and then use Swampert and Crustle in the back.
Okay, let's see how we do it for the first round. Well, Swampert Mirror. How do you like to play this one?
For me, it's not ideal because I want to use my grasses for the Swampert, but my opponent swapped out first to his Shadow Victreebel, so I'm just gonna swap to my Steel type.
Yeah, I think you got kind of lucky in that sense, because normally...
Yeah, I was gonna swap out anyway, but usually I wait for a Hydro Cannon to hit. And then here is an unshielded Acid Spray, so it's even better for me. So I'm just gonna build up almost 2 Fine Whips, so that when something else comes in, I can do some chip damage.
Nice. And it's a Gengar.
Yeah.
Gengar's also an interesting Pokemon in this mix because he does well, but he needs shields, and he, with the baits, can really flip some matches.
Yeah, Gengar is really an interesting Pokemon here. It can give that flexibility that Shadow Victreebel cannot do. And here I'm up 2 shields. No, I'm up 1 shield. I saw his Swampert already, so I'm just gonna save my shields for
the Venusaur.
For Venusaur.
Yep. Ooh.
Here, Sludge
Good
Wave.
thing you shielded.
Yeah. There is. You really have to shield once against the Swampert because if it carries Earthquake, it also beats you. So I just shield once, and it cannot reach a second move.
Sometimes I have Whimsicott on my team, and when I'm up against a Swampert and they're charging for a really long time, like, you gotta respect it. So I always shield the very first time because a Sludge Wave does so much damage. It's not the recommended moveset for the Marsh Cup, but it really, when it comes as a surprise, it can take out stuff that you would think that
it also helps against the Shift Tree. So
that's true.
Hindsight, I would have taken Sludge Wave if I could have chosen again, but I wanted Earthquake to secure the Sableye matchup. Because straight Hydro Cannon loses against the Sableye, but if you land an Earthquake, you can win.
Yep. Second matchup, let's see.
Yeah.
So that's a Crustle with the
This time I went for the Crustle, and I used Swampert in the back, so it's really weak to Shadow Victreebel in the back. But Crustle wins the 0 shields, so I was just hoping to get rid of shields early on, and then hope for a Crustle sweep.
So you let the Sludge Wave hit you, and then the Swampert switched out, so it's out of energy, but your Venusaur is gone.
I learned it was Sludge Wave in game 1, so I didn't shield because I knew it couldn't be an Earthquake.
And what's your thought process going on now? You're still up 2 shields, but there's a risk.
Here I'm getting worried about the Shadow Victreebel, so I'm gonna see if I can bait it out. This is kind of a risky play, but I punished his Victreebel so bad in game 1.
But you're hoping you scared him out of using it?
I was willing to risk it, but
then your heart just drops, I imagine.
Yeah, but I have my Earthquake, and if it's not shielded, I can do my my Crustle 0 shields. So I farmed the Gengar.
Ooh.
GG's.
Oh man, that was close. I mean, that was probably your
yeah.
best case scenario, but you really just didn't have the leads. It's hard to come back sometimes when it's such a punishing.
If he carries both Swampert and Victreebel, Crustle lead is not the best idea. So
how do you adapt for game 3?
Knowing me, I probably wouldn't lead Crustle again because I needed my grasses too much, and I had to use my grass as a swap, so I would probably go back to my Swampert lead. No, I stayed with Crustle. I'm interested to see what 2 others I brought. I'm probably carrying Swampert because I'm not swapping out immediately.
I think sometimes, it's all a mind game, so it's like, you lost pretty, not badly, but you lost, so your opponent will think that you will switch to do something else.
Yeah, and here his timer is still locked, so I'm just gonna... Because... Yeah. I'm just gonna try to get rid of the shields as soon as possible. I know I can farm more, but I don't want to risk his timer getting out.
Yeah, that makes sense. And these are just hyper
And then I'm
cannon. I mean,
gonna...
not that it builds up obviously over time, but
Yeah. But the matchups won't kill me. And then here, he comes back with his Alolan Marowak.
yeah, it looks like he's switched
Yeah, he
out.
swapped.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that was the smartest move, to be honest, because now the Marowak is switch locked.
Yeah, but he was gonna lose the matchup anyway, and now he can potentially use his Swampert as a sack swap. Here I swapped to my Ferrothorn because I wanted to get rid of the energy from the Marowak.
Okay, that
and then
makes
I was
sense.
gonna swap to my Crustle, but he farmed so much I got enough energy for the Thunder, so I thought, yeah, might as well throw it. And then I'm gonna use my shields for Crustle here.
And you're gonna farm down the Marowak. Oh, yep, you're right, he tries for the sack. Alright, well, pulled out that win as well. Won game 1 and game 3.
Yeah, so another success for Double Grass, I guess.
So your third opponent is Maikita88. I see one on that team that's been giving me a lot of trouble lately, and that's the Alolan Muck. Even though a lot of the damage isn't necessarily super effective or effective, Dark Pulse, just you get to it so fast and it's such a hard-hitting move.
Yeah, and it's also very punishing if you swap out late.
Yes. I mean, I have a Quagsire on my team, which should beat it, but yeah, if it has 2 or 3 Snarl advantage, then you have to for sure at least shield once to get any move off.
Yeah, so this is the team where I first didn't really feel comfortable running my Ferrothorn, because he had 3 counters and then the mirror. I still did feel comfortable running my Venusaur. I think this is the first game where Sableye is really good as a safe swap. Can beat everything. It has troubles against Galvantula and Mantine, depending on baits.
And also Ferrothorn, don't you think? Or you're not afraid?
My Sableye is pretty good against the Ferrothorns.
Okay.
The more shields both parties use, the less clear the matchup becomes. But as a safe swap, I can definitely force it out.
That's true.
And then Crustle is still good, and Swampert is good as well. So I might try Swampert or Crustle lead, and then a Sableye safe swap, or plug in a Venusaur somewhere.
Alright, let's see how we play out this first round then. Okay, so we got the Swampert lead. Ooh, that's your worst lead that you can have.
Yeah, indeed. So I'm gonna do my Sableye safe swap, and he's actually staying in. But I don't want to get into shield disadvantage, because I feel like my team doesn't really do well if it's behind in shields. I'm just gonna wait for his swap, and then I'm gonna do my return, which is really hard on a Alolan Muck.
Yeah,
and
it hits hard on almost anything.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna let the Sableye go? Oh no, okay.
No, because I wanted to have less shields in play. So I want him to decide whether to give up switch, because he has a very, very positive game against me. So I either want to get him down with shields, or I want to make him give up switch advantage. So yeah. Now I can come in with my own Ferrothorn. And then the Swampert is only weak to Ferrothorn and Mantine. I don't think he has a Mantine at this point, because he didn't swap it in on my Sableye. So I'm really comfortable with my Swampert in the back. Yeah,
and we saw right away that he has a Thunder, which is
better
overall.
If he has, the worst thing for me that he could have in the back is a Swampert, because it's a mirror match with my own Swampert. But I still have my Ferrothorn, so at this point I'm not worried at all anymore. And
since he's not shielding, that's interesting.
Yeah, he shielded the first Power Whip, so I was thinking he would have a Swampert in the back, or a Mantine.
So what would you have done in his position, knowing that you have a Swampert in the back and seeing that Ferrothorn? Like, did he play it the same way you would have, or?
I think he was lost at that point.
Yeah, I think so too. But I mean, I think the only potential would be to double shield.
Yeah, staying in with the... Yeah, But he wasn't gonna take a shield from me with his own Ferrothorn, so... Because the Ferrothorn, they don't hit each other very hard, and you can just overcharge energy, so... I think what he could have done was not giving me switch advantage. That's one thing. And then could have also swapped out from the Sableye faster to save energy on his Ferrothorn, really.
Yeah, I think the Ferrothorn was really the MVP of that. It beat basically everything on the team.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to tell at the beginning, so...
Yeah, very true. So here I expect my opponent to adapt to my Ferrothorn pressure and bring, I don't know, Lower Marowak or Gamfelcher or something.
Okay, and you going with the same lead, it looks like?
Yeah, Swampert is just very... I won a game with a Swampert lead into a Ferrothorn, so I felt really comfortable trying again.
That's true, I guess. It's like, yeah, if you can win against its worst matchup. Oh, the Mantine goes straight Ice Beam.
Yeah. So here, Ice Beam hit my Swampert, but he's down energy, and most Mantine swap shield the first move on Venusaur. So here, he thinks he's getting rid of my grass. In fact, I still have my Ferrothorn in the back, so I don't really see the need to shield an Ice Beam from Mantine, because he could have had Alolan Marowak, and then I actually don't want health.
Yeah, and you have a fully loaded Swampert here.
Yeah. Yeah, this is unfortunate, but I want to fire off my second Hydro Cannon. And I expect Ferrothorn to come in, and then I'm gonna Earthquake him. If he doesn't shield this, he's very low, and if he shields, my Ferrothorn will win the mirror match and have a Thunder ready for the Mantine. He decides not to shield, which is, I think, the right choice. But, yeah. Now it's the same scenario as before. Whether it's a Mantine or a Swampert, it doesn't matter. I got my Ferrothorn on his water, and that's what I need to win. Here I'm gonna bait with my Power Whip, and it's not really baiting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like,
a ton of damage.
As far as baiting goes, it's really best case scenario.
Yeah, but obviously the Thunder would have won me the match already. So here I get hit by a Bubble Beam. Doesn't really matter. Just gonna clear my debuff. And then I'm gonna hit 2 Power Whips for the win.
Yep.
So even against teams with Marowak and Muck, Double Grass can be really strong, as long as you have one really positive lead, like Crustle and Swampert.
You're looking good so far. What are you, 3-0 in this cup?
Yeah.
So, on to your fourth opponent.
Actually, this team is kind of the same as before, but he doesn't have the Alolan and Muck. The problem with this team is that my Swampert doesn't beat 4 things anymore. It beats Muck, but it doesn't beat Drifloon.
So what are your thoughts?
So
is he going to be benched this round?
If I would lead a Grass type, I would keep it, because it can protect me from the Marowak and the Galvantula still, and Ferrothorn has Thunder for Drifloon. Even though it loses, it takes it really low. I think the Drifloon enables my Crustle a lot. He has his own Crustle. His Crustle is not really good against my team, so I'm not sure if he's gonna bring it.
Yeah, you have a lot of things on your team that really threaten the... I mean, the Crustle can really only take the Marowak.
Yeah, and the Sableye and the double shields.
Yeah, that's true.
But then opponent is down shields, and then Swampert is really strong. Sableye, again, is a good safe swap, I think, even though the Crustle takes it out, and then I'll probably use Swampert anyway. We'll see what I run.
Alright. So we got a Ferrothorn and... now the lead is in your favor.
Lead. Yeah. There's only 2 leads I didn't want to see, and this was the one I was hoping for, obviously. And then he immediately swaps in his hard counter, so I'm just gonna punish him as soon as possible and take out the Marowak before it can reach a move.
I think that's a mistake that a lot of players do in the heat of the moment. They say, oh, well, I know that this one takes out this, but yeah, obviously if you swap...
Yeah, swap in the hard counter. Yeah. I mean, it can work as a sacrificial swap, so I expect him to come out with a with Ferrothorn, but actually he has Crustle. So I think the mistake of my opponent was he let he has two things weak to Swampert in the back, so he couldn't really use another safe swap. Yeah, that's the risk of leading Swampert, of course.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna go for the Earthquake.
How was that?
I think my opponent didn't see my Sableye safe swap, so I'm probably gonna try again.
Yeah, but
I expect him to
I would
counter
obviously
me.
expect him to adapt a bit.
Yeah, but I feel comfortable seeing how they adapt instead of trying to predict their adaptation. Because I know the team is strong, I feel safe trying again.
Yeah, so let's see here. Now he decides to go for the mirror.
Yeah. That's something I don't really want to see because I want to keep my Swampert for the AWAC. So I'm probably gonna swap out, yeah.
It's an interesting
Here I'm
swap
running
beat, yeah,
double
because
Ghost.
Swampert gets to its moves so fast, and while Sableye, yeah, also gets to moves rather quickly.
But as long as Swampert does Hydro Cannons, I beat it because he needs Earthquake to win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he wants to keep his Swampert for my Crustle. Now my Sableye has a lot of energy.
Yeah, so it's loaded.
He's already down.
Yeah, decided to
both
double
of his
invest the shields. I guess he's going for switch advantage.
Yeah, and I'm gonna let him. Yeah. Because he's probably expecting a Grass type, but I don't run it. So I need my own Swampert for his Swampert.
Yeah, and you know that the Marowak obviously is now a bit of a liability.
Yep.
So it's double debuffed, but you're immediately gonna switch by the looks of it.
Yeah. But he was out of energy, so he cannot throw me. And here he actually goes to his own Marowak himself, which I found really interesting. But I cleared my debuff and I have enough energy for a Shadow Bone. So I think my opponent didn't realize my Swampert had so much energy.
Yeah, I think so.
Because I didn't throw a Hydro Cannon in the beginning. Yeah, he kind of burned himself here. But it was an interesting idea. Because my Alone Marowak was double debuffed. Of course.
So yeah,
now I'm just gonna Bone Club as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think it's...
Here I did Bone Club instead of Shadow Bone, because I didn't want my opponent to know I was running Shadow Bone and not Shadow Ball.
Oh, that's smart, yeah. Yeah, they haven't seen it yet, so...
I prefer to keep my movesets hidden as long as possible.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I made the mistake of accidentally running Moonblast on my Whimsicott instead of Hurricane.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. But now that's my complete strategy too. That is just like in the first game, and even the second if I can, if the Whimsicott is in it, then I'm just throwing Grass Knots because I'm charging up, but I can't reveal that I put the wrong moveset on it. So I think some things that we can take away from these matchups was opponents not switching immediately to the hard counters, and also shield management. I think this were the two areas that kind of went wrong.
Some teams are good when they are behind shields, but with switch advantage. But most of the trios I make prefer to be shields up. So I'm willing to give up switch advantage if it makes me being up a shield or something.
I've noticed too a lot of times with this cup that it's a lot of energy management too. So if you know that the next Pokemon that you're bringing in can fast move down before they can hit a charge on you, and then you're loaded on energy. I do that on Sableye a lot.
Yeah.
Then really they're going to be down shields.
Yeah, that's often in Silph cups that you really have to keep in mind, because you can more easily predict what's in the back than in GBL. You can prepare for certain scenarios while the battle is going on. I find really interesting.
Yeah, I like that too, because it's like, okay, if they're running this and this, their backline is most likely going to be Seed.
Yeah.
So now we're on to the next opponent. We have
this was a matchup I was looking forward to, because he's doing double water against my double grass, so I was kind of happy. But of course he has the shift read. But you might notice that he isn't bringing a hard counter to Cross. Yeah, he has a hard counter for Grass in Gengar, but it's a hard counter for Ferrothorn and not for Venusaur.
Right.
Then Galvantula is also a Ferrothorn counter, but less so of a Venusaur counter. So my Venusaur in the one shield is an absolute monster against his team. I think
So you're definitely
I'm
bringing
gonna
it.
run. Yeah, gonna bring my Venusaur.
Do you think
and
you'll
he's
do it as the
too-
lead or the safe swap?
I think in this game I'm gonna risk leading a Swampert because he only has his Shiftry. And once his Shiftry is out of the way, then I can freeze again. But I'm thinking to run Venusaur as a safe swap because most people don't know Venusaur beats Galvantula in the one shields. So I like to take advantage of them blocking in their Galvantula on my Venusaur. Well, that is actually my plan from the beginning.
I actually think for his side too, that Shiftry is his safe swap.
Yeah,
that's what I
Shiftry
would
is a good
guess.
safe swap against my team.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna deny that at all.
So it'll be interesting to see what you guys decide to lead. So you're leading your Crustle into the Gengar.
Yeah, that's good for me. I just have to shield a Shadow Ball. Shield once to win the game.
Yeah, and that
That's
was
basically
too
the thing.
quick to be a Shadow Ball.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna. And I'm gonna bait with my X-Scissor. It's not very effective, but yeah, he did his bait, so he's gonna wanna throw his Shadow Ball. I'm gonna throw my bait as well. I wanna have switch advantage in case he has Venusaur, and here I'm gonna lure out the Galvantula.
Smart,
It's
yeah. That was a very
the one
quick
shield.
switch on his part as well. So he has energy
Yeah.
left on his Gengar.
He has so I lured out his anti-grass Pokemon, but I'm actually gonna beat it, or I'm gonna be up shield, and then my Ferrothorn just has to deal with whatever's in the back.
Well done here. That Galvantula goes down. Let's see what he's gonna bring in.
Yeah.
There it is.
So I can just do a Smackdown and a X-Scissor later.
Oh, look at
Apparently
you.
I'm
I
going
think you're
for
sack swapping.
the sack swap. Yeah.
Oh, but they undercharge. That was.
And here, yeah, this was a mistake on my opponent's part.
Yeah.
Because as I said, I just needed one Smackdown and I had my X-Scissor. But when I saw the move coming in, I didn't want to shield because I thought, maybe he's gonna bring his Gengar. So I was okay with letting my Crustle down, but he made it stay alive to try and farm, and that was a big mistake.
Yeah, I think you didn't realize you had energy left.
Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, I don't think it would have flipped it, to be honest, anyway. Even if he had a Shadow Ball on the Gengar, your Ferrothorn was still too healthy.
Yeah, and he threw he threw 2 Shadow Punches, so he wasn't gonna get to his Shadow Ball too fast anyway.
Alright, let's see how you guys end up adapting for game 2. Ooh.
Yeah, this is pretty bad.
Yeah, because swapping
gonna try
anything in on a Shiftry with energy is pretty dangerous.
Yeah. So here I'm gonna try the same thing. I'm gonna lose Switch probably, but I'm gonna take him at least down 1 shield. And then
oh, good timing.
Yeah, here I couldn't throw my second, but I want to throw my both Frenzy Plants because
yeah, of course.
Yeah, I need to get him down shields for the Shiftry matchup later, and he's actually gonna give me back switch advantage. And yeah, here I can align my Swampert to his.
Oh man, poor champ. I think he was hoping to fast move farm you down, and
yeah, that's not working against Venusaur. Here I'm gonna save my shields for Shiftry against Ferrothorn, because obviously Shiftry is gonna win. But yeah, I'm just gonna try to take him as low as possible, and then hope to take him out with a Hydro Cannon later on.
That was a good swap. I think he was aiming for the Swampert and he gave you a Leaf Blade, or
yeah.
Because yeah, these foul
From
plays
here on,
are...
it's gonna be foul plays.
Yeah.
just want to make him shield before me. So I'm not gonna shield first. Unless I'm gonna go KO. So here I kind of forced to. He's forced to shield as well at this point.
And he foul played too, so yeah.
We both threw 2 moves, I believe, so my switch timer is back up, and I'm gonna cannon the guy. He decides to swap out, which is pretty smart. But my Swampert has a little too much energy.
Yeah, that's really good energy management, Kev.
Yeah. So if he threw a Leaf Blade here, I would reach my Power Whip on Ferrothorn first, but he couldn't farm me either because I was so close to a Hydro Cannon.
Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
that's also showed. I mean, man, the Venusaur Swampert core is pretty strong for you in this cup.
Yeah, and especially since it resists the electric, the fast move of Galvantula, it really needed the Bug Buzz to beat Venusaur. Now that it has Lunch, I can survive, and that's really comfortable on my side.
Yeah, Galvantula is listed at the top of the meta, and to be honest, it's good and it's threatening, but whenever I see a Galvantula on someone else's team, that's never the one that I'm fearing. But that could also be the way that I've set up my team.
Yeah, the reason I didn't bring Galvantula is because there were so many teams countering Galvantula really hard that I was just like, okay, I'll just not bring Galvantula myself then, which gives me an extra grass slot.
Problem solved.
Because most Galvantula counters are weak to grass, like Swampert or Crustle, whatever, or they take neutral. So I took advantage of that.
Now you're playing against the opponent. This was my first loss to his team.
Yeah, this team is pretty different than most teams. It made my Crustle super weak. Only thing Crustle really handles is Golbat. And the Golbat is also his main grass counter, which is a problem for me, but again, Ferrothorn has Thunder. Because he was so anti-Crustle, my Alolan Marowak got a little bit more play.
Yeah, the Marowak
really
does
good
well
against Ferrothorn, really good against Toxicroak and Whimsicott. It can even battle a Golbat. And then my Venusaur is obviously really strong again, only fearing his Golbat. Ferrothorn is kind of a problem against Toxicroak. Venusaur deals with Toxicroak just fine. Even if it loses, it takes it low enough for me to farm with something else.
Yeah, you have to invest shields if you're the Toxicroak. Alright, well let's see how you guys decided to play it.
Yeah, I'm probably doing AWAC double cross.
Yep, looks like it.
Yeah. So here I'm luring out the Golbat.
Yeah, but
just gonna
so far it just
deal
doesn't look good.
Yeah.
Hard countered at the beginning, hard countered with your safe swap.
Yeah. But I didn't want to risk swapping my Ferrothorn into a Toxicroak or something.
Yeah, I understand.
He's gonna... Yeah. And he's gonna... He kind of has to throw, because he doesn't want me to do too many Frenzy Plants. And from here on, it's kind of pray that he doesn't have the Croak in their back.
You correctly shield up the Shadow Ball. And
yeah, and I'm gonna do a... Yeah, I don't want to risk tanking another Shadow Ball.
Oh.
Yeah,
man.
This is really bad.
I think
so. If this was really, GPL, I would probably quit.
There was just no coming back in this one. He just correctly identified the lineup that you were going with.
So I got these anti-grasses on the wrong grasses, which is unfortunate for me, obviously.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that was just your only play, to be honest. Unless you let the Marowak go at the beginning to line up. But
so I'm not gonna shield anything. Just wanna
get it over with.
I'm already thinking how to adapt, and I think my problem was that the Marowak lead was not a good idea against his lineup in general, because he played Toxicroak and Golbat in the back. If I would have let like my Venusaur, he would have a huge problem, but it worked out for him, and I don't want to fall into another rock paper scissors lead, so I'm gonna try and adapt. Some things I could do is lead Venusaur, safe swap Sableye or something, or I could lead Ferrothorn and have AWAC and Sableye or something. there's a few possibilities, but I think I'm gonna lead grass instead of my Alolan Marowak.
He's obviously going to adapt as well. Yeah.
Here I'm kind of comfortable because most Ferrothorn run Thunder, so I'm just gonna wait and see if he's running Flash Cannon or not. If he's running Flash Cannon, I'm forced to swap out. But I want, I want to win this matchup. I'm not gonna lose switch here. He has Thunder, he swaps out to his Golbat, and I can go to my Sableye. And Sableye has no problem kicking out Golbat.
Yeah, I think he knows it too. He's not bothering to block. I mean, the Golbat was saved for the Venusaur, but now he knows that he can't.
Yeah, and because he didn't shield, I didn't shield either because I know Shadow Ball doesn't kill me, and I wanted to have my shields for something else. And here he has a Swampert, so his line was really weak to a Venusaur lead. So that's an easy game for me.
Yes, you're feeling a little more comfortable again.
Yeah. And the Alolan Marowak is just such a hard Ferrothorn counter.
Yeah. No need to block.
No,
especially seeing that there's a Swampert in the back too.
Yeah.
You just want, the goal is to take out the Ferrothorn and then just die so your Venusaur can take care.
And here I'm gonna
punish him.
Yeah, I showed my Shadow Bone, but yeah, I was like, there's no way he can come back from that one.
Okay.
So not running Ferrothorn really helped me, even though he didn't run Toxicroak. So actually, Ferrothorn would have been really good against his team, but he didn't have a backup plan for my lead, so that was kind of lucky for me.
So what are your thoughts going into Game 3? It looks like you guys are in each other's heads now. You're adapting to each other's play styles a little bit.
He didn't play Whimsicott at all, so I feel comfortable bringing my Sableye again, because Sableye is good against Golbat, and he obviously likes his Golbat. I still like my Venusaur, because it still beats everything against Golbat, except Golbat. And I like the AWAC in the back. So I'm either gonna do a Venusaur sacrificial lead, where I'm just gonna accept that I'm gonna lose against the Golbat, and then run Sableye and Ferrothorn, or I'm gonna do Venusaur, Sableye, Marowak again.
Alright, well, let's see. Game 3 looks like almost the same so far as Game 2.
Yeah, and I know it's a Thunder, so I don't have to wait for his move. Just gonna throw immediately.
And here's a good thing for people who are watching. You're going straight Sludge Bomb, which is the correct play as the Venusaur.
It's a 3 turn move from his side, and my Sludge Bomb actually times perfectly to throw that I don't lose too many turns.
Oh,
and here he swaps in his Swampert because he saw my Venusaur, obviously.
Yep.
And
that's great for you because you have an AWAC in the back.
And I know my my Sableye will win the 2-shield because most Swamperts do straight Hydro Cannon.
If he had charged up for an Earthquake, would you have shielded?
Yeah, I shielded the first Hydro Cannon as well, but I just know that he's gonna throw an Hydro Cannon. I just know it. And then, I take back switch, and I'm not down in shields. I expect him to come back with his Ferrothorn here, and then I can come in with my Alolan Marowak, taking a bit of energy that's needed to win the 1 shield against Golbat.
Oh, and him recognizing him.
Yeah,
plan. I mean, obviously.
It's not gonna give me any energy, of course. From this point, a Frenzy Plant would kill the Golbat.
Yeah.
So I get baited. That's
still
sad.
Fine. Yep.
But I can just do a Bone Club, and then maybe even swap out. I swap out here.
There's always like this little amount of satisfaction when you, as the losing typing, can beat the.
Yeah, that's true. And here he's not gonna farm my Venusaur because he cannot do that with Power Whip and Thunder. and my Alona Marowak still has enough energy, health to take one thunder.
Yeah, but looks like he stopped.
Game
He
3.
realized that was the end.
I think he was too focused on his Golbat, but he was kind of forced to use his Golbat every game because of my Venusaur. So I think the mistake I made in game 1 was Marowak isn't the best against Golbat, and I ran Golbat, Ferrothorn, Venusaur, and Golbat has play against all 3 of them. So me adapting to Sableye instead of Ferrothorn, because he didn't use his Women's Cut, was the winning factor for me.
Yeah, he called your team composition of what would be best for you, and he hard countered. But if you stick with just hard counter teams, you have to obviously get them matched up, or else your whole plan kind of goes down the drain. But those were really good matches, really well played. And now this is the final round, correct?
And this is where I didn't think I would win because of the Shadow Shiftry. It's the first time I saw one. It's a really big threat to my team because the Venusaur doesn't win the 1 shield anymore. Marowak doesn't win at all. It has double shields, and Sableye is countered, Swampert is obviously countered, Ferrothorn loses. So my only play against Shadow Shiftry is Crustle, or the 2 shields AWAC, or 0 shield Venusaur and Sableye. That's
But to be honest, if I was
options.
him and I was looking at your team, I would be pretty fearful of that Crustle because it takes out majority of his team.
My Crustle is really good against his team. But my problem is that I need my Crustle for his Shiftry. So if I'm leading Crustle into, let's say, Alola Marowak or Sableye, I could potentially win switch advantage, but I don't want to waste my Crustle on those things. I want to waste my Crustle on the Shadow Shiftry, and that's the problem I have. So I have to think about a team composition where I can lure out his Shadow Shiftry.
Take it low
I don't really want to do it with my Swampert. Because my Swampert is really good against 4 of his team. So I could lead Swampert so that it won't get locked and then swap to something else. Yeah, these are very close games. And here I can try to go for a...
So it's immediate,
for the 0 shield, but I'm not expecting him to let go of his shields. So I'm just gonna say swap my Alola Marowak, which is only threatened hard by Caracosta. And I can win against a Sableye if he lets go, if he lets through a Shadow Bomb.
Which he did, so
I'm gonna, So I'm just gonna threaten him as soon as possible so that he cannot fire a second fall play. And then, if he does, I'm gonna shield as well, because obviously I want to get the switch finish. I'm letting it through. Interesting. Maybe I want extra energy for my Venusaur or Crustle.
Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so he brings in the...
So I know I can tank one. I can tank 1 charge move, but it's really not comfortable.
Well, you're gonna have to. But luckily, the Shiftry is pretty low.
Yeah. Here I tapped my X-Scissor, but I was too late. So, but I already tapped, so I was feeling really bad because if I wouldn't have fired off that X-Scissor, I potentially would have gotten a smackdown, a rock slide against Alola Marowak, and I have a Venusaur in the back, so that's game over for me. So really sad I
But he revealed already that he has Shadow Ball.
Yeah.
I mean, not that really changes much, because, again, we're more fearful of the Shiftry, but it is good to know.
Yeah.
So that was a really close match. That's unfortunate about the X-Scissor, because...
Yeah, because of the CMP with Crustle, I lost that game, so I already didn't have much hope to win, and then I lost, kind of lost the lead.
So do you have an idea of how you're going to try to shift for game 2?
I was thinking the same, but with a Swampert lead and then AWAC and Crustle probably.
Okay, so Swampert lead, hoping or thinking that he will switch his lead from the Shadow Shiftry? Or if it's a Shadow Shiftry, are you just automatically safe swapping again?
Yeah, because I was punished with his shift-free lead, I expect him to adapt to me leading Crossel or something, or Alona Marowak. So here he leads Karakosta, which is a really good lead for Swampert.
Yeah, so you're just...
He has a Surf and Body Slam, but I don't want him to swap out with energy and a lot of health, so I'm gonna threaten him as soon as possible.
And he's not switching out, he's just gonna go ahead and throw.
Yeah. And here he goes to his shift-free, and I'm gonna go to my Crossel as soon as possible.
Smart.
So the things I'm thinking now is that because of his Karakosta lead, I didn't expect him to run an Alolan Marowak. Because if he did, it wouldn't be very clever team comp wise. So yeah. And here I suspect he's going back to Karakosta, and then I'm going back to my Swampert. I'm gonna farm.
Down.
And then apparently he does have a Alolan Marowak.
And it is an Alolan Marowak.
Yeah, so that's a really easy game for me. I just have to do my 2 Hydro Cannons and then swap to my own Alolan Marowak, or try and go for a 3rd Hydro Cannon.
Yeah, make them throw because you know that they have Shadow Ball, so...
Yeah, indeed. And then I'm going to my own Marowak. So this was not a very smart team composition of my opponent.
Yeah, but to be honest, it maybe could have played out for them in that respect, because you would never expect that there was a Marowak in the back, so your Swampert was
that's very true. It's very true.
Almost gone. So these are...
Even with a Venusaur in the back, I could have done double Frenzy Plants, so even the Venusaur in the back would have given me the match there.
That's true, yeah.
So this kind of gives me hope for game 3, but he also showed his Karakosta, so now I'm a bit worried that my Crossel might get stuck in a Karakosta game. But I remember this game really well, and
This is the game of nightmares.
Yeah, this is where I made a really big mistake. So I have a really positive lead.
Yeah, looks good. They immediately
and he swaps to his Sableye immediately, and I stay in. And as soon as he got 3 Shadow Claws, and I knew I was gonna lose. Yeah.
Already the sense of dread.
Yeah, so I take a shield, and I'm thinking, yeah, I really have to keep my Crossel for his shift-free, and now we are out of sync in terms of switch clock, and then he gets to his fall play before me. Yeah, that's really bad, and we are CMP tied again, so I have to throw my Xyzar again.
So you undercharge it so you can get a little energy?
Yeah. I should have just gone to my own Sableye.
Oh, this is such a bummer,
I lose the charge move again, so there's no hope for me anymore.
Yeah, and a shift-free with the shield.
Yeah, it's really bad. So my mistake here was not going to my own Sableye, or I could even go to my Swampert.
Yeah.
Because I just know he has Alolan Marowak in the back, or Crossel, and yeah, Sableye is decent against both. And
yeah, I mean the Shadow Shift-free's been in play every single game, so you know that it's...
Yeah. I shouldn't have brought my Swampert.
Still, it was super well played.
Yeah.
It's like
it felt really bad losing that last game, because I could have won.
It's such small little things that can really flip a matchup. I was so
busy with my own safe swap strategy that I didn't have enough time to answer his safe swap. Yeah, because I know Sableye can beat Swampert, but I should have just used my Swampert to get shield out of play, and then I would have had Sableye and Crossel for the shift-free.
Yeah, sometimes they say that the best offense is a good defense, but you still need to be quick on your offense as well. But I mean, it's still a good news story for you, because you were in a 6-way tie for first, and a lot of the people who won, you won against.
Yeah, that was nice. And I also it was my first platinum of the season, so that's
really nice.
That's cool as well. Yeah.
After this too, you hit Challenger. Not that we all knew that obviously you were going to make it, but the first month you waited some small tournaments, your little flash tournaments.
Yeah. Yeah, I waited the very first day of the month when everyone was trainer. Which I maybe regrets, but it was a lot of fun, so no mistakes made there.
Yeah. And that put you at
was
the
really
number 6 in the world. So that's
yeah.
pretty good with 68 battles, which is a lot for 2 cups only, and almost a
Yeah.
78% win rate. That's really good.
Really early in the month, so I'm others gonna get above me in global rank, but I think it's a really good starting position for the months to come. And I still have a 7-rounder to conclude, so I also want to host many tournaments this season.
Yeah, you have a lot of
That
these
would be cool as
early
well.
flash tournaments, but you do them
Yeah,
throughout the whole month too, correct?
Yeah, we do tournaments the whole month, but we kind of highlight the marathons and the early bird tournaments and all those.
Okay, so we'll put a link to that in the description as well. So if anyone wants to join these flash tournaments that Kevin puts on, they're really cool, and it's a good community as well. Well, thanks again for coming on today, Kev. Good
Yeah,
luck in your
pleasure.
other 7-round tournament. Hope you do well. Not well enough to
Yeah.
stay on number 1 for the rest of the season, but we'll see.
We'll see.
All right, thanks everyone for listening. If you like this, make sure to like, comment, or subscribe, and we'll see you in the next tournament.
Bye.